So, another place where we could go is the library. Maybe that is also more information on the girl and the robot. Yeah, we are live.
Elsa.
Oh.
Oh.
You might have the sound on.
Of your phone. Hey, Irene.
Yes?
When it is time, because for some reason it won't let, I don't want to go onto Twitch because then I realize I would kick DJ, who's running it on Twitch, probably off of Twitch. Could I ask you to drop
Don't worry. I'm actually not logged into the Liber Novus account. I'm logged to my account on Opera.
Then I will go to Twitch and go on the Liber Novus account. Log in. Oh man. Okay. So many emails. Then had another account. Google.
Oh, it's Ben's mic trying to overcompensate for silence.
What is my mic doing?
It was trying to overcompensate for silence and then just became sent out a very strong white noise.
Did it work?
No, it didn't.
Oh no. I was just sitting.
Then works and else works. Yes. Why not?
Okay. Kiss me just like the world is ending.
Oh,
it's a good song.
Love here. So much love.
Oh my god. There's so many ants. So many fucking ants.
Is there a streaming channel in this thing that
We're at 8 o'clock! Should I go live?
No, we're live.
Ready when you are.
I'm ready.
You're ready for a
Okay, and transitioning. 3, 2, 1, bam.
Hello.
Hello. And the DM. What? All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Ben Hatton. And this is Liber Novus, our actual play urban fantasy game stream using the Savage Worlds system. Thank you for joining all of us on this Sunday morning, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard. Welcome. And I want to thank the players. Could we go around the screen and introduce ourselves?
Hi, my name is DJ. I'm the one actually hosting this stream because my hardware is better.
Yeah, it is.
I play David Sawyer, the out of town, the non-Baltimore native photojournalist who happens to be here for vacation reasons and turned into not a vacation.
I could have known that as soon as you arrived.
Hi, I'm Renee. I'll be playing Victor Price. I'm a scientist who left behind this fragile, fleshy body for a glass one. It's not maybe not less fragile, but less prone to burning. So I can do science.
I actually had a question the other day, which was, does Victor have facial features, or is it just like just like blank? The side of a vase.
Renee, you're muted.
I, that was the wrong button. I think it's not facial features per se, but he is like when he talks and facial expressions, the light fractures a bit differently. So you can see actual expressions. It just looks a bit differently.
Interesting. So it's sort of like liquid, like melty old glass. Just okay.
Yeah, it's not as hypnotic as for example Rorschach's mask in
Mhm.
Watchmen, but I think that's the closest comparison I can think of on the fly.
Awesome. And last one, but not least one.
My name is Jorien Hatting, and I will be playing Tuskin the Bruised, who is a demon that kind of left Hell, forgot all about his time there, but he now, bless you, now he resides in
Sorry.
Baltimore. It's fine. Uh,
Bless you.
he is a tall. Well, he uses all kinds of pronouns, so he, she, it, they. It's all fine. That's also why I will be changing them regularly. Um, but they are 6'10", which is slightly smaller than average for his kind. They are have a completely purple skin. That's why they are called the bruised, because they just look bruised all over. But that's normal. They have horns on the sides of their head. They have little tusks, and they have a tail. And I always like to think of them a little bit inspired by Nightcrawler. So there's also a bunch of symbols in their skin. It's a little bit of a weird mix between a D&D tiefling and a D&D orc.
Nice. Thank you guys for playing. I really appreciate it. And thank you for building the world that we're about to go through again. We did that earlier. Um we have already established lines and veils, but should something arise that does not work for any reason, makes you uncomfortable, X card. We'll move on. No questions asked. Play guidelines. I borrowed, acclimate, or took these from the uh, Armitage files created by Pelgrane Press. And so things to think about: seize the helm. This game is your chance to drive the plot. Instead of waiting for things to happen, your characters are get to take control and make them happen, rather than follow a single narrative thread. Each document, and you just got your first document last game, gives you the chance to choose the mysteries that interest you. At first, the storyline may seem messy or diffuse. This is to be expected. It is, after all, what real world investigations look like during their early ages. If you are at a loss, gather more information. As you do so, the case will take on a momentum of its own. There is, and this is the one that I want to stress the most, there are no wrong choices. Choose the details from the documents that you want to pursue boldly and quickly. All of them will lead to something interesting. None of the choices are clearly tactically superior to the others, so take the avenues that you think are the most fun. This is your chance to make choices in character and not be punished for it. When in doubt, look at the things that your character is interested in and ask yourself which clue would most fascinate your character and you as the player. Okay.
Correction, Ben.
So,
There is a wrong decision. It's called dying.
well, I don't know if that's your choice, Death. But it's true.
You can just
Actually,
choose death.
I think you could choose, right? Isn't that the Eddie Izzard bit? Cake or death? You
Cake or
can
death?
choose
I choose
cake or death.
Or death. That's already we're out of cake. Well, death it is then.
Death cake. Delicious
Ah.
The
death
cake is a lie.
It's true. It's all just death. Everything comes from death. All right. So, my friends, what do we remember from our last session?
Oh shit, the cops are here.
Because
Run.
Yep, that's right. So let's do a quick recap. Who wants to start the recap? Who are you guys, and where did you begin?
I don't want to read out all my session notes. That's a little
Same.
bit much.
So
But
we're
shall I
looking
just
for
kick us off?
we
Oh, yeah.
Yes, please.
we,
Or DJ?
we are looking into the case of one Bucky Snuffles, a sentient bipedal otter who
Mhm.
happens to be sequestered in one of the hospitals in Baltimore. He has apparently gone
True.
crazy, was picked up by the police, ranting and raving about something. We went to interview him. We went to his apartment, fought a bunch of giant mechanical spiders, and now the cops are here.
That's right. Well, on their way. It's true. Right. So the world you all operate is the Mysteria, which is that sort of I wouldn't say generic, but sort of quintessential archetypal space between the cracks where all the oogies and boogies and goblins and witches, etc., live. Some people can pass into the real world using the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle theory of a big enough trench coat and a big enough hat will get you far. And some people cannot. And you are members of the 1001, an organization that works under Morrison Lemire. And you were tasked, because of this particular situation, to go and um, go and see what happened to Bucky Snuffles, who, for all intents and purposes, is the playboy son of a very well-to-do, well-known Mysteria family, who also happens to be a bunch of sentient otters. You made it there. You were then told he was in fact very beat up, very not lucid, ranting and raving. You were then instructed to go and visit his apartment because he was one of you. He was in 1001, and you know that the purpose of that was to make sure that you didn't know that, or that people weren't able to find that. But when last we left off, you all had just very, very well and very, very easily, well, not easily, but very, I meant to say noisily, dispatched a series of mechanical spiders that had, in fact, been trying to bite you and kill you and shoot acid at you, and you beat them up very well. But the sliding glass door to the balcony is open. There is smoke coming out of it. And you all can hear the sirens um, approaching.
Whoop, whoop.
Yep.
Oh shit, the cops are here. Are coming rather. We need a split. We need to make like a banana and leaf. Oh wait, I got the metaphors mixed up.
Nope. Why don't you make like a tree and get out of here?
We want to make like a
I
tree and split.
mean-
Wait. I mean, make like a banana and leaf. Wait.
All right.
Probably best if they do not find me at all,
Yes.
anywhere.
Nope. I think they would frown upon both our appearances.
Yeah, so I don't know about you, David, but I'm suggesting the sewers.
I mean, you guys can use the sewers. I look like a normal person, so if you want, I could just meet you back at base.
If that's what you are more comfortable with, then yeah, sure.
You have a box van. Don't forget about your box van.
Oh yeah, our vet
We,
needs
we
to
do
get
we do
home
have the
anyway.
van, yeah.
Yes, I think V- Victor, if he hadn't, I think he had at least put his visor up, maybe even taken his helmet off. I think he will put it on again. So to at least appear as a normal figure, but way too tall and bulky and not completely moving as if he's comfortable in his body suit, whatever.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, so you guys, how are you all leaving the building? Are you elevators, stairs? If you remember last time, you were able to, the front desk concierge wasn't at their desk, and but who knows now? And so, what's the deal?
Emergency
Do we know
stairs?
what? Yeah.
Fire stairs?
Um,
There have to be.
my guess would be that the best way is to take the emergency exit,
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
as that usually takes you along the less visible from the main street lines. I'm guessing.
Yep. Why don't you? You are correct. Why don't you give
I just realized I'm gonna look
me?
at my dice. Whoops.
Oh no. Okay. Let's
No
get
dice.
no dice. Sorry, kid. No dice. Um.
Then stuff is gonna get dicey real fast.
Boo.
No, it isn't.
No, actually, no. Correct.
Sorry, kid. No dice.
What are we doing? Sorry, I'm back now. What are we doing?
We
What's
are.
going on? What's happening?
Well, nothing so far. Nothing. Let's see. Uh. So we're going to do what's called a dramatic task, which is which is to escape before the police come. And we're going to try or to elude them without um, being caught, as it were. Now, it's not a particularly difficult task, so we're just going to do something. Um, it's going to be a challenging, um, challenging one. So you're going to need to get 5 task tokens in 3 rounds. So a round will just be each one of you goes. There may be something there, etc., etc. Depending on how well you do, there will be repercussions. So every time you gain a success, that's a task token. So you need to get 5 task tokens in 3 rounds, and you'll be in the clear. So, and you can use any skill, any trait, anything like that, to sort of go from there.
Okay.
So I don't know, you can, as I said, you guys can choose how you're going to do this, etc.
I think I will start by using my common knowledge skill to decide which place would be the most logical for a fire exit.
Okay, great.
Would
Go ahead. It's perfect by me. Go ahead and use that.
David wants to run
Well,
down.
let's see how much.
Sorry.
Wait, let's let Victor
yeah,
resolve that.
I rolled my skill die and the extra d6
Yep.
and the highest count, right?
Yep.
Okay, so I rolled 2 4s, so a 4.
A 4. So that's a success. So that's one task under. Yeah, you know that like even though it's one of those um uh twisty sort of buildings or sort of hallways, I think it's a very modern designed building on the inside. Lots of sort of awkward angles that come back in itself. Um, right, this is one of those buildings for really rich people, where it's about like design, but not necessarily functionality and or taste. And but you know that there are in fact legal requirements of how many spaces, how much feet you have to have before one, um, and so you know like where you could probably guess where it is. It's not near the elevators where you came up, but on the other side of it. So that's one success. The David, what would you like to do?
I would like to make my way down the main stairs and get the van so that when Tusk and Victor eventually come out the emergency exit, I will be there waiting for them so that we can make a quick getaway before the police get here.
So you taking? So you're also well. There's an elevator, and then there are the sort of the stairwells that are used for like fire exits and stuff. Are you taking the elevator down and then just like walking out the building normally, or are you doing, uh, or what have you?
I'm taking the elevator.
Okay, cool. What skill would you like to do to be sort of to pull off not sort of seeming nonchalant and normal? My guess is either performance or persuasion would be where
I
I'm
have
leaning
persuasion,
toward.
so I'm going to do persuasion.
Okay, so you're trying to pull it off as if you are just sort of
Yep.
normal everyday guy, perhaps being a little nervous. Give me this at a -2 though.
What's it?
Uh,
Because there was gunfire, so
right,
I'm not exactly trying to be calm about it.
right. So sell it at a -2 though.
So my highest is a 3, but that's a minus. I'm using a Benny to reroll these.
Awesome! Hooray! First Benny! Womp womp womp! I don't. That's a terrible sound. I'm not going to do that again. Sorry.
I rolled the exact same thing. I rolled a three.
Uh-oh.
I rolled a 3 and a 2.
Ooh. Uh, anything else? You gonna Benny it again, or are you just gonna come out with the negative?
I'm copping out. I'm gonna use another Benny.
Okay. That's
Yeah, hold on
two.
a second. Let me switch dice. Because I have more than one d6 in my. Oh, that is a 6.
Okay, great. So
So minus
you
2. That's
do,
a
in
4.
fact, that's a 4. So you manage to get out with you come running out. There is, in fact, a a person there now. Uh, you know, probably a younger man in his 20s, very nice suit, slick backed hair. You can type he's the type of cat who not a literal cat. He's the type of person who you can tell is usually very well put together, very officious. Um, but you can also tell at this point he is not meant for this sort of situation, gunfire and cops. And so he's on a cell phone talking to someone, and he is not comfortable. He may catch a glimpse of you on your way out. He's certainly not, but with the success, he's not going to stop you.
Dave is
And
just
you make it out the door. Yeah,
Dave
he's
is
like,
just
wait, hold
running.
on. He's like, oh wait, hold on. Who are you? And then you're gone. And he's like trying to be on his cell phone. Um, so, so that's two successes. And what are you doing, uh, Tuscan?
So I want to go scout ahead with my stealth and find a way that we might not stand out as much while going down, or at least see if there's anything on the fire escape that could give us away.
Okay, so because there is no fire escape, it's like a big concrete stairwell. But yes, you go ahead and give me a stealth roll to see sort of how right. Um, Luckily, it's the middle of the day, and most people are at work, depending on how this roll goes.
I think they are because I rolled a 7.
Yeah. So almost with a raise. So with a 7, you all make it to the stairwell, right? No one's poking their head out. No one is um, no one is seems to be on this floor either. And it's if you remember, sort of this is one of the higher floors, one of the nicer apartments, or at least it was until you trashed it, or until it was trashed, and there are in fact no people there. And like when you make think about it, you're coming down from the 5th floor, you're on the 4th. You make it to the 3rd. There is, in fact, the sound of someone behind you, but you've already like they're also coming to the stairwell, but they are also, coming behind you as well. So, um, but they are not seeing you because you got a nice 7 on your roll. Victor is, you and Victor are making your way down fine. And Victor, let's see if we can close this out.
Yes. Well, when we get down the stairs, we try to use the as an emergency exit as to not go across the guard who is apparently back there. So, but what I'm trying to do is use my electronic skill to prevent the opening the emergency exit from tripping an alarm. Especially in an apartment building like this, have a uh, will have something to make it an alarm go off
Oh,
once the emergency exit is used.
yeah, absolutely. It's got one of those bars like across the door that has the little push button that says if, like using this will sound alarm, big red sign on it that says like emergency exit only, opening this door will sound an alarm. So uh let's use that electronic skill.
Good call, by the way.
Just just elbow it. Hiya!
I got another 4.
Nice. So with a 4, what does that look like? How do you do that? Um
Well, I think it's usually like with done with a magnetic relay up top.
mhm.
So what I probably do is I take another magnet and to when I push open the door, hold it in place as to not let the relay click.
Nice.
Yeah.
It totally works. That's such a cool idea. Yeah. You know what? Take a Benny for that. I love it. So that's 4 Bennies for you. Yeah. So like the way do you think about it? Wait, yes. So like that's yeah, what a cool idea. So you get out there, you have your arm full of books that you took from last time on literature and whatnot. Um, and I think there's this moment where you guys are like looking around, like what's going on, and then just screaming into the alley behind this building is DJ. Nope, is David in the van? Just rolls up, you know, white panel, like the white panel on the side, like slides open, um, and you all are on your way, and so what's the plan now? You have a series of books on literature in your hands. David has um, the journal, the hidden journal that he found, and yep, you just needed yep. On this particular one, you just needed 4. This one was just oh wait, did I say 5? Oh, you need 1 more. You're right. So you get in, and I think actually at this point, It's right. I said 5 because it's not a 3. Yeah, it's not a single one. All right, we need one more.
I
Yes.
would like
So
Renee's being the goody two shoes and telling on us for
Thank you.
getting one success less than we should have.
Oh, thank you for telling me.
Well-
Take another Benny for your honesty. Thanks.
I would like to. David would like to make sure that he isn't screaming out of the whatever alley that he's picked up Tuscan and Victor in. He's not going to screech away. He's just going to drive normally.
Give me a drive roll.
I don't have drive. Shit.
I don't think you have that skill,
I don't have the drive skill.
which means
No,
it's
I
a
do.
ne-
I
it's
do.
a-
I do.
Oh, good.
I do.
Because otherwise it would be a D4 -2. So give me
It's a good thing I
drive roll.
picked driving, but I only picked it. I only have it at level 1, so
So yep. So that's a D4 and a
That's a
D6.
4.
Nice. So you as well make your way
4 and a 2.
happily
actually,
out
so
of the
4.
room. Yep. You make it out. You pull into traffic. No problem. Yes.
Yeah, but even if we hadn't made this check, we still had
Yes.
2 checks from Tuscan and one check from either one of us to try something.
Yep. Absolutely.
I think we would have been fine anyway.
Yep. This was, absolutely. I'm trying to slowly roll out some of the mechanics of the game. The next challenge will be it won't be way. It'll just be different. So you are all in your van. You're heading where? You have an armful of books on English poetry and T.S. Eliot and stuff. You have the coin of that. Every 1001 member, every Sherzad, as you are called, member has a coin that shows your rank, that you're a member of it. And you have Bucky Snuffles' book. And I will, now that you have the book, I'm going to put the link for it. Full disclosure, the players have already seen it because there is no reason for, because people reading on camera, so no one wants to watch you guys read everything. I think that would be sort of boring. But they, so here we go. But this is for everybody. Here we go.
You could probably put that on the Twitter as well, just in case.
There it is. I just put it up. It's on.
Yeah.
And I'll put it up on the Twitter. So in chat, it's right here. I'll throw it up on Twitter, and we'll go from there. So, where are you guys headed?
Home.
Where are you?
Home base.
Yep, very much home.
Home sweet base.
Okay. Cool. Awesome.
Home.
Home on the range. So we built this. We built this home, this base, using the lodge rules from Rippers, with the idea that that it is sort of because I think those rules are super great, and really player friendly. And so we chose, one of the things you all chose was that A, the base was hidden, and B, the base had a front in front of it,
It was a newspaper, if I remember correctly.
Yep. It was there was a mask, or sort of a business that stays in front of it. And one thing we didn't decide was which newspaper are you all associated? Are you all is above you? Because there are, in fact, 5 newspapers that operate within the Mysteria, and they are called.
I
And-
have them in front of me if you want.
Yep, I got it.
them out.
Nope, I have it right here. So they're the Fells Points 5 Points, the Remington Regal Post, Brewers Hill Bulletin, the Waltherson Hex Book, and the Nexus, which is out of Brooklyn Park. They mostly are, so these are the 5 main newspapers that report on things within the Mysteria. And so, and they sort of deal specifically with areas. Fells Point is a more hip touristy area near downtown. Remington is up in the northeast area. Nope, northwest area of Baltimore. It's very fancy. Brewers Hill is um, is sort of in the central south. Waltherson is sort of the northeast, and then the Nexus Brooklyn Park is down in the docks area. So we never decided which one was going to be there. So does anyone have any preference to which one is you guys are located under?
I was actually thinking it would probably be less of one of the big 5 and more of like a neighborhood publishing house. So not
Oh,
like
so
for a big newspaper, but for something a little smaller so that it doesn't attract attention.
oh, that's totally fine by me. How do the other two feel about it? Do you feel all right about that?
Yeah, totally. Because I was already going to push this decision towards DJ because David is the one actually working for the newspaper,
No, I
Yeah.
and Tuskin doesn't
correction.
really care.
Correction. Used to
So
work for a newspaper. I don't anymore.
yeah. So
Fair enough.
what is the name of so yeah, that's awesome. That's even better. So what is the name of this newspaper that doesn't deal in the, it's not one of the big 5s. They don't get the biggest stories about the goings on of the Mysteria. And so what maybe it deals specifically with just certain things.
I mean,
So
it deals
certain
so this particular news agency, I mean, it's got there are branch offices all over the country because they're supposed to be trying to cover global news and stuff like that. But they are very well known for not exactly being the most well informed, and also sometimes the opinions that they publish might not reflect the opinions of the paper as or the journal as a whole. People who I hope they see this and don't sue, because I would like to call this place the Huffington Post.
um let's think. Okay, they're similar to the Huffington Post.
Sh-
I kind of wanted to
Can I
actually
Shall
kind
we
of
call
actually
it the Baltimore Huff?
The,
the Baltimore Huff
yeah,
and Puff.
yeah, I think
yeah,
that yeah, that's good. So it's the Baltimore Huff, and each city has their own Huff, but it's all the same thing, right? So there's like the Baltimore Huff, the Boston Huff, the Philadelphia Huff, the
Huffington
Chicago
Post,
Huff.
please don't sue.
Yeah, well, we're gonna call it the Huff. We could also call it the Puff, or we'll call it the Puff.
I
Ah,
do want
No.
there to be a section within the newspaper which is like one of those self-help columns that people can write in, and that is called the Huff and Puff.
Huff and Puff. That's fine. Yeah, so that's what it's called. Yeah, no one's. Please don't sue me. Yeah, so it's called the Huff, um, and and it's very small. It doesn't carry the. I mean, they try. I think of it sort of as a printed version of BuzzFeed. Like they're trying to get into real news, but they don't exactly do well. So there's a lot of like Nate. There's a lot of write in for advice. There's things like that. It covers, right? It's not particularly great news. That's awesome. I love it. And
Clickbait the newspaper.
it's clickbait the newspaper. That's
It's
exactly right.
it's a tabloid basically. It's like the Sun.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Although the Baltimore Sun is actually the biggest newspaper,
I was
like
more
real
talking
life.
about the UK news agency.
Yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
Sun.
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
'Cause
definitely, I love
the
it.
UK the UK Sun is horrible.
Yeah. Um, and so they have a small building. It's probably 3 stories tall. The um, the top 2 floors are where people actually work, and then the the ground floor is where they actually do some printing, and because Yoreen chose secret entrance, you all though can come in. There is there's like a parking spot, and a small out of the way ramp. I don't know if you all have if they have them where you are, but they're a lot of times in places if you're trying to deliver stuff into the ground or into like a basement floor, there are these two metal big steel corrugated doors that open up and then like metal stairs that lead down. Um, there's something like that, although it's way classier. And in fact, actually, you know what? It's probably like a block away. So you like open it up and you go down these stairs, and then there's a hallway, an underground hallway that then goes into your into the living quarters of this lodge, of this safe house. Um, and that's where you arrive. It's not a particularly big place. There is, there are bedrooms. There's enough bedrooms to sleep about 6 or 7 people. Um, uh, there is a kitchen and I think like a living space that's just full of garbage and various knickknacks, etc. It's objects that people have found and brought. There is a science lab that has basically been built from scratch by Victor, and a a training room, I think, that Tuscan uses a lot of. It's probably covered in like mats and broken sandbags, um, moments where they sort of lost control. So there's probably just again, he punches a sandbag, it explodes, and it's just ripped up and stuff because he is upset with all the ants that are in his room. No, that they're just everywhere. So you are there and out of breath, and things are amiss. And there we go. So what are we going to do? Where are we going to go from there?
I think, didn't we establish that after we got back from that shit show that we would have spent like a couple of days looking over the stuff that we got from the apartment?
Uh,
Yes, research.
yes, research, science. So as you all are dealing with I'm not sure if you're spending a couple days,
Probably
but
a
it will
couple.
certainly take. It'll probably take the evening and into the morning. Sort
day.
of.
Just about an hour and a half.
Yeah, just a smidge. Why don't you? So you have this book in front of you, and it is full of the sort of ramblings and etc. of a person, of Bucky Snuffles, apparently, who went on a trip for some reason and wound up somewhere, experienced a magical moment. That's what the book is. He went to some place. He met, like, the long and short of it is he met a man who sort of named Huxley, who gate kept or was the keeper of an oracle. And Snuffles had an experience with this oracle that led to him writing down a number of pages that you all have in front of you. Sort of got his wits together about a few days later, a week later, and the last message, the last entry that you have currently is from 2 days ago. I think it's 2 days. Yep, is from 3 days ago. It's from 3 days ago when he was saying he was coming, which is September 12th. Today is September 15th, and he is saying he is returning. He had some stuff, and that was all that he had. So that was 3 days ago. Was the last note that you have. So, what I would like is anyone with occult to give me an occult roll, and then research rolls from everybody.
I have occult and research at rank 3, so I'm gonna do that.
So give me both those rolls.
So I have
Um,
neither occult nor research.
Because Tuscan
Nice.
only thinks with his fists, sadly.
and I have research. So let's let DJ do his rolls first. So we first get the occult roll.
Okay, so I've got
Mm-hmm.
the occult roll. Those are double. That's a double 5
Okay.
on my D8 and my D6. Unfortunately,
Mm-hmm.
and then research, right?
Yep. And you should also roll your research.
Oh God. Okay, my research is an 8.
Okay. So that's a
Um,
raise.
and mine is a 5.
Okay. So altogether, so a couple things that should be pointed out right off the bat with that occult roll. One, the language on the second to last page is you're pretty certain is you've seen it a couple times is Enochian, the language that of angels that John Dee and a couple other people came up with over time. And so you're pretty certain that that's what he wrote in. You also know that the symbol on the first page with the sort of trident-esque appearance is the symbol of Neptune or Poseidon. And with our research rolls, you all are able to come up. Hold on. And you are also able to come up with there's this scarab, and actually since you spent some time research, with the 8 in research, you are able to put together that that the smudged out memorial that he put together, that he, where he writes like, please don't follow me afterwards, is the Ruth Ann Dodge Memorial in Iowa. So he was there. And then Victor, because you have the book of T.S. Eliot's work with you, and all his stuff, you notice there is that thing that says here is not eyes, there is no eye here eyes in the star of the dying valleys, in this valley hollow, this broken kingdom of our last jaws. It's important that you understand, or that you notice, that that is actually a flip or a bastardization involving Hollow Men, the poem that by T.S. Eliot um, that Bucky Snuffles was, yelling about and being weird about and like muttering about, with certain lines actually switched. So the actual lines read, "The eyes are not here. There are no eyes here in this valley of dying stars, in this hollow valley, in this broken jaw of our lost kingdoms." And so there have been things that are inverted. So what you get is there here is not eyes. There is no here eyes in this star of dying valleys, in this valley hollow, in this broken kingdom of our last jaws. So there are switched words, etc. But that's what you all pull out on this particular one. Despite the fact, also with the fact that there are tons and tons of literary allusions, um, symbolism, etc.
Yes, but so I find that there are things strange, things incorrect, but I don't find any conclusions as of yet, right?
Not yet. I mean, you not without yes, not yet. There is some idea like was you saw Snuffles, you saw his appearance, and his potential, and one thing I think you do notice is that as the pages go on in that space between the first page and the last page, there is definitely a um, what's the word?
Unraveling.
Yeah, I was going to say a degradation, but yes, an unraveling of sanity is sort of there. So that's pretty much obvious in that regards. Is that is there some meaning to the switched words, or in fact is he just slowly losing it over time? And then obviously there is this picture book esque area like section about a young girl and a robot on an asteroid, and um, and like there's no author, there's no illustrator mentioned. You guys do like spend the evening sort of typing things in about this, and you just there is no indication that this is a excerpt from a previously published story or anything like that. So I know we're a little bit early. Wait, do we want to take a quick 5 minute bio break before we get into our discussion of where we're going next? Or an eating break where we eat our dice? Is that because we're just about at the hour mark, and this seems like a good place to take a pause?
Well, yeah, that's fine. We could also have the discussion first, unless we
Okay.
plan on having a discussion for an hour. So
Nope,
have a
that's fine.
discussion break, and then we go into action.
Okay, that's up to you all. So discussion break. All right. So you cats have all this stuff in front of you. You have all of these pages.
I think what David has done, because he's old and also cheesy, he has an actual cork board in the main area of the safe house. He's got pictures, he's got newspaper clippings, push pins, and red string. He's just tying everything together with different colored yarn, different colored pins. The board looking pretty sparse right now, and he's got several like index cards with things written on them, like Patterson Park. We've got the Ruth Ann Dodge Memorial. You've got the press, the post, the Mayor Moore, and all these things. And they're all just sort of pinned to the board in different places. A lot of it is blank because we know next to nothing about this, and this is the start of the case. And then right at the top of the board is a picture of Bucky Snuffles with a bunch of red string leading out to all these little points.
All right. So is there anything specifically, David? You're not a Baltimore native, so I think some of these things don't land in the way that they have landed with other people.
Yeah,
some
like
of this stuff.
for example, like there is mention of the market, and then like on the index card that says market, like David has written a big old question mark next to it because he doesn't know where the market is. Train station location question mark because he doesn't know where the train station is. There's a bunch of things in here that he doesn't know of because he's not a local. So, but I'm willing to bet
Yeah, and
that Victor and Tusk have added their own things to this board.
Well, the way Tuskin adds things is by laying on the couch because do let the thinking be done by the thinking people, and then oh wait, you're the mayor. Uh, that's a dude that I know something about, and then he will go on a rant about the mayor and that there's like this weird triplets that always hang around him, and that there was stuff about his medallion and all that kind of stuff.
So David is going to add a little card that says triplets question mark to the Mayor Moore thread.
Yeah, and I think Victor will just like will probably have picked up some tourist map somewhere and have just cut out the place where the train station is and a bit of the environment. Um, and uh, and I think he will also have some entries on the market, but more question marks about okay, but what was he buying there? What because lots of stuff can be found at the night market,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The night
which
market.
Victor knows.
Yes. Yeah, Victor, you have a nice connection with the night market. I mean, the night market is one of those places that uh, again, I think you see it a lot where it is literally a sort of bazaar esque, like bizarre, Bazaar, not like bizarre, like it's a
Why not both?
well, yeah, it's kind of both. A little bit of A, a little bit of B, sort of deal, where there are several levels. It's built mostly underground, or it's built. You can access it from a number of above ground affiliated shops, and then underground. It sort of caters. There's several tiers. It caters to a lot of people who cannot operate even in big old trench coats in the up or or clothing wise in the above world. And you have everything from fine dining to with like established vented restaurants. You have very nice tailors who like custom build suits for those people who want to like wear finely tailored clothes. Like let's say you're a sentient dog but you want to own a dinner jacket, that sort of thing, that sort of place. But then there is also an area that looks more like a farmer's market where there are rotating stalls of people who will set up, wares and whatnot. Um, and those sort of change on a daily, right? There's a Wednesday where it's mostly fruit. There's a Thursday where it's mostly um, various like home furnishings and things. So those are the sort of days that you have. And then there's an area that also sells ingredients and whatnot for magic, etc. Sort of deals. So you certainly know, whereas David may have not visited it in the few weeks that he's been here, Tusk and Victor have certainly visited it. And Victor, you are definitely a regular visitor of it. Um, um, so, although I will say that the person that it's mentioned in the book in the journal that he being Snuffles purchased something from a person named Shadow Malley,
A glamour,
and
specifically.
specifically a glamour from Shadow Malley, and that name does not roll is not something that you because it's not that's not sort of the business you're in, like glamours, etc. So you would know an area for which to look for those things, but I don't think you know him or she or they. I don't think you know that person particularly. Um, uh, so um, there's one
So,
there. Oh, go ahead.
yeah. So yeah. There's a lot to unpack here. Victor gestures at the pinboard with all the additions that Tusk and I added. And yeah, where do we want to start?
Well, I suppose we could start by visiting some of the easier areas, like the train station, the post office. We could try to figure out where Bucky went, because he said in the journal that he had, like, on page, what was it, page 1, I think. So, like, one of the first page of the journal, where he said he bought a train ticket somewhere, but he never specified where. So I figured we could visit the train station first, figure out where that place is, and once we figure
Yeah,
out where that place is, we could figure out where that ranch house is, and then Oracle.
yeah. My guess would, I don't know, because the memorial's in Iowa. I would guess he went to Iowa, but it's good to check that out. Also, he probably came back by train, and if people noticed odd behavior when he came back, that could also be
So
interesting.
we'll need witnesses on the day of September 12th. Got it.
Yeah, witness or maybe even video footage.
CCTV footage from the train station.
Mm-hmm.
Gentlemen, I hate to point out the blatantly obvious, but doesn't it say not to follow him there?
Well, unfortunately, if we want to figure out what happened to him, we're gonna have to retrace his footsteps.
Also, I really need to know where not to go.
Victor, you make a lot of sense. Yes.
Also, I kind of want to stop by the post office if there is like I don't know your city, but is there like a citywide postal service? Because he did mention that apparently he mailed some of these missing journal pages over to, I think, Huxley, was it?
Huxley mailed them for him.
Right.
But
Yep.
we don't know who. But you don't know who they were mailed to or
So,
anything
I want to
like that.
I think we should try and figure out who this Huxley is, and then go to that post office and see who Huxley sent these journal pages to, because we are missing a lot of context here, and if we had those journal pages, we'd figure out more.
Seeing the kind of people that we're dealing with, somebody at the market might know who Huxley is.
So I suppose we could train station and then market. Sound good?
Yeah, there is an entrance close to the train stations towards the market because
So,
easy access and stuff. So, yeah.
sounds like a plan.
Also, you have never been to the market before.
No, I haven't. I've only been here for like a few days.
Oh, you're gonna have a great time then.
Oh boy. Should I bring my camera? Maybe.
No. No, you should definitely not bring your camera. It's a place where people like me and people like Victor can just walk around without wearing trench coats and high hoods.
Well, I mean, I do take pictures of that kind of stuff. It's fine. It's fine. I'll bring my camera, but I promise it'll stay in my bag. I promise.
Why bring something that
Scouts
stays in
honor.
your bag?
You never know. I mean, we're not going to the market directly anyway. We're going to the train station first,
Fair.
and we might find stuff there that Bucky might have left behind, and no one else might have found just yet. Because I mean, he came back into town like 3 days ago. Maybe he left something at the train station and staff picked it up there and left it in like the lost and found or something. Who knows?
So train station and then market.
Yep.
Cool. Take a 5-minute break or 10 minutes. 10-minute break.
Alrighty
10
then. Break
minutes.
time.
Thanks, people.
BR back
Hopefully
screen
back
is
in-
on.
Okay.
I am fighting the urge to sleep. I didn't have a good. I slept at what, 3 a.m.
I
and
think
woke up
people
at
can
9.
still. I think people can still hear you.
I know people
through
can
the
still
stream.
hear me. I know.
Oh, okay.
I don't care.
Okay. Hello. Never trust those oil companies. I think yes. All right, 2 more minutes. Do. And I'm back whenever you cats are. Good morning, everyone.
Okay. Boop.
Okay.
Okay, we're live. We are live again. And as
Hello, everyone. I have to look up the concept, how to pronounce a particular thing. It's like a term that I want to make sure that I get right. Bullseye or something like that. There we go.
what?
Bullseye.
Bullseye?
That's the term I. Nope. Bullseye.
Bourgeoisie?
Bourgeois? The
No.
bourgeoisie?
It's it is BEAUXARTS. Bourgeois. It's an architectural style.
Oh.
I for some reason it sounds like something I would pronounce in a French way, like Beaujolais or so.
Yeah. I'm just using Wikipedia pronunciation with that listen, like bullseye. No, bullseye. I don't know. And the reason I'm looking it up is because that is the architectural style that Baltimore Penn Station is in. Penn Station is is the main train station in Baltimore. There are some like smaller satellite train stations outside of the city, but Baltimore Penn Station is the main uh, train station. It is the main highlight of that particular architectural style is a combination of Baroque and Renaissance influences, but with modern materials. So there's a lot of like steel and glass, skylights, very ornate railings and details and such. It's very bright. But you know, so there is in front of it a there is a how big is it? It is called. I'm trying to look it up. In front of it is a 51 foot, so 15 and a half meter tall aluminum statue titled male slash female. So depending on what angle you look at it, this giant aluminum statue, which looks like the silhouette um, of it either looks like the silhouette of a man or a silhouette of a male or a silhouette of a female, depending on what angle you look at it. People hate it. In fact, they thought it was like clashed and was gross with the stone and columns and archways of the actual um, of the actual train station. To have this big uh, aluminum person outside. But that's what it is. But yes, lots of columns, lots of sconces on the inside. All the chairs are like wooden benches, etc.
I mean,
Um,
I looked up a picture of the statue, and I agree with the rest of the population. That is,
I mean, it's kind of
n-
ugly.
it's kind of ugly. It would be kind of cool if it was in an industrial developed area, but it's not. Nope.
I mean, it does
Does
really.
not match.
I mean, I like it because it's a 51-foot tall aluminum statue. Like I think it's huge, but uh, it is also it doesn't land where it is. In all honesty, I mean it's 12,000 kilograms. It's so heavy. Um, and it has been like that has been named the kinkiest piece of public art uh, by in general. So some people really like it, but it does, and it kind of fills your eyesight as you drive up to um, the to Penn Station. But yeah, and you can see train tracks, etc. It's lovely on the inside, as I said, wooden benches and um, ticket counters, the sort of stereotypical cart that sells coffee and overpriced artisanal popcorn, etc. And you guys go on in.
Big place, fancy.
Uh-huh. Best thing about this kind of place is nobody stands out because everyone looks weird here.
It's true. I mean, there is a fair amount of just people milling around, security guards, but certainly, the very certainly definitely homeless people, on the benches, being moved along here and there, an occasional store, a shoe shine booth, or stand. Um, Although I think all of there are two levels. There's like a balcony. There's like a walking level, like a catwalk area with stores, and then the ground floor has um, the escalators and elevators to the actual trains themselves, and where you purchase the um, tickets and whatnot. But it's busy. There's a lot to do. It's a major hub. Several lines that run both north south and originate to run east happen here. So there's plenty to work with.
David, you are the investigation guy. Where do we start?
Well, I suppose we could start by heading over to Station Central. I suppose, like a ticketing counter. I can use
There's
my
definitely
news credentials to maybe get us a bit of a couple of minutes, maybe with one of the staff trying to figure out maybe where Bucky went.
sure, absolutely. Most since most ticket purchasing is done online, it's a pretty ghost crew here. There are probably 5 or 6 um, computer terminals that people could be at, but there's only 2 people actually there, with most people lining up to claim their tickets from the automated machines. So there's only 2 people there. And when walk up, I'm assuming, are all 3 of you walking up together? Or or is it one person, you know, rolling up? There is, you know,
I think Tuscan is going to stay back a little bit because otherwise it is David, who is normal height human being, with at
yeah,
least, and I believe Victor is also quite big, so that it would be two humongous hulking figures behind him, and that's a little bit too intimidating.
yeah, huge lady, huge, no, huge people. Um, the person behind the counter, uh, if as you has a standard Amtrak red and blue vest on, a white collared shirt that's buttoned up. There's a little gold ticket or a gold name tag that's pinned to her vest that says Darla on it. She's got relatively big permed hair, late 40s, early 50s, a lot of foundation.
It should probably
But
talk something along the lines of that old monster from Monsters Inc., the receptionist.
yeah, she doesn't quite sound.
Oh yes.
I mean, she like Roz. Hello, I'm Darla. Nice to meet you.
She like chain smokes
She
3 packs a day. Like,
she doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't quite carry that with her. She has a much more pleasant experience. Yeah, she's not like her soul hasn't been killed. Yet. She, give her 10 more years. She's been at. You can tell that she's been like, her fingers are moving swiftly over the keyboard as you roll up to her. So there's definitely a confidence, but there is a feeling that she does actually like that. When she smiles, it sort of feels genuine. So she's not quite as like the Roz of what Mike Wachowski. Wachowski, you forgot to fill out your paperwork. That's not there quite yet, but it's coming. Um, so
David pulls his old news ID from his bag and just sort of flashes it to the lady at the counter, Darla, and says, "Hi, good morning. I'm uh, I'm here on behalf of the Baltimore Huff. I kind of would like to ask a few questions.
she
Reg-
goes, the Baltimore Huff. I love the Baltimore Huff. She goes,
ah,
and then she like looks left and looks right. You're. She goes, oh God, I need to come up with a good name. Do you guys did Savage Love ever make it out to wherever you cats were? You know what I'm talking about? Savage Love.
Nope.
nope,
I think that's what it was called.
not for me. It wasn't. I don't know what that is.
Uh, Dan Savage uh, was a uh, was like a how to put it. Um, it was about like there were a lot of um
Oh, I see. He was an adult columnist.
yeah, like a lot like the people would write about would write, and he was very like whatever you want to do, friendly, like no kink shaming. Like someone once wrote him, and like the article that I remember at like 17 was like, what if I super want to eat poop? Like, how can I handle that? And he was like, well, some mashed potatoes. He's like, you shouldn't eat poop, because mashed potatoes, little. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's gross. Don't worry about it. I loved those articles. And so so there's some form of that guy that writes for the HuffPost sort of nationally, and so she goes, I find those articles particularly exciting. I love them. And then she goes back and she says, so what can I do? And like smooths her, like touches her
The
perm,
perm.
touches her perm up here because it's a big perm. And she says, "What can I do for you?"
Yeah. I was looking into the whereabouts of a guy named Bucky. He bought a train ticket from y'all on September, what was the date? September 4th, if I'm not wrong.
And she uh, says, oh, "Yes, that's exactly his name, Wilbert Wallingway. Yep, that's the person who writes this one, Wilbert Wallingway, is she loves Wilbert Wallingway's articles, and she says, she looks and she says, I can't. I mean that may be true, but I can't give any information about people.
I mean,
Unfortunately,
it's a little complicated, man. We're trying to figure out stuff about Bucky. You know, we're trying to write a column on him, and it is a little bit important that I figure out where he went on September 4th. I just want to know where he went. That's all.
um, um, well, she's she says, I can't really tell you that. You're gonna need to give me a roll of
Yeah,
some
I
form.
was gonna say persuasion.
Probably persuasion, and I'm going to make a spirit roll to see how she does.
Come on, David.
Dice don't
Charm
fail
her.
me now.
Convince her with your natural charm.
That is a 4 and a 1.
Well, you passed. Well,
Yay.
in this case, it's a contested roll. Something like this would be, you know what? No, I failed it. I rolled a 1, so I failed it, and you rolled a 4, so you beat it. And she looks at you and she says, "This is strictly." She's like, "It has to be off the record, though. I can't. I could lose my job if I gave this stuff away. But she says, but could you say in your article, could you write an informant with the train station?"
Sure, I can do that.
Oh, and she gets like really excited for a second. You could see the sort of the how do you do on your face, and she says, okay, and she does some typing and etc. And then she gets a look of confusion on her face. She says, "Bucky, is that with an I-E or a Y?"
A Y.
Types. I'm afraid that we don't have any names for that in our system for September 4th. She says, "Let me look up around those dates." She says, "No, I'm afraid we don't have any of those down."
Do you have any scheduled departures on September 4th to Iowa, perhaps?
Iowa. Give me a cognition roll. No, not a cognition roll.
We're not
Yeah.
playing Orpheus, man.
I know. Sorry. Give me. That's true. Can I have a flat intelligence roll, please?
It's not intelligence, Ben. It's smarts, I think.
Smarts. Yep. Sorry. Give me a flat smarts roll. It's
Also,
true.
I am now realizing that he would have likely traveled under an alias, considering he had a glamour, which only made sense to me now. It's like shit.
Yep.
3.
Okay.
Did we ever found out anything about the nature of the glamour, or just the fact
No,
that
we
he
were
had a
going to the
glamour?
market after we stopped
You
by the train
haven't found that
station.
out yet, or yes, you don't know. Yes, you haven't figured that stuff out or at all.
Yeah.
But what she does say, she says, I mean, we have trains leaving all the time, and she says nothing to. I mean, she says we have a number of trains leaving from Iowa as it is, but and she says and surrounding towns. She says, in fact, some people, if depending on where they're going in Iowa, will actually like ride into, will actually train into Nebraska or Minnesota or Missouri.
you have any train routes that are centered around like local monuments that take you into Iowa, close to like monument parks or what have you?
Hold on a second. Let me. You would know because you have done the math. You know where the Ruth Ann Dodge Memorial is. If that's the one you want to look at, it's in Council Bluffs. So,
So just trying to figure out if a train went there recently
uh,
or close to that area recently. Essentially,
yeah, the best yeah, actually, like the way to take that, she goes, yeah, and she, you mentioned Council Bluffs, and she does the thing. She says, it takes about, she says, well, if you want to go to Council Bluffs, it takes you're actually going to ride from here to Omaha. It takes about a day and a half to get there. It's about a 35-hour trip.
okay.
Um,
I actually realize now that the dude that we're trying to find might have been traveling under an alias, and unfortunately, my agency hasn't told me about that alias just yet. So,
well,
I
she
will
says,
I'll pass on this information to my employers, and I'll make sure that what's his name? I'll make sure that Wilbert knows that he has an adoring fan working with the train station.
oh, she's just, and again, she does like a little thing, and she goes, oh yes, she goes, she goes, yes, and she sort of smiles a little bit, and then like smooths down her thing.
Ben,
Uh,
out of character. The town with the memorial is Council Spring, correct?
Council Council Bluffs,
Council Bluffs. Okay,
Council
sorry.
Bluffs. Yeah, it's actually like super. It's actually much closer to Omaha. It's only about a 45-minute, which is Nebraska. It's a short drive. So what you would do is you would take the train to Omaha, um, and go from there. And it, you sort of realize as you're leaving that if he arrived on the 4th in the afternoon, he probably left on the 3rd. Um,
But it's
and
yeah.
but there's
So
still no Bucky Snuffles.
yeah, there is no Bucky Snuffles. He would have been traveling under an alias, and would have been traveling using a glamour, which means we need to we need to find Shadow Malley and ask him about that glamour, and then figure out what the name of the alias was. Which
Mm-hmm.
means I think we might want to find Huxley and Calchas sooner or later.
Well,
And
they're in Council Bluffs.
that's right, they're in Council Bluffs, so we could probably head to Council Bluffs soon to pursue that lead. But I think I think maybe David will want to go to the market first.
Okay.
Obviously, he'll thank Darla for her time, and he actually
Yeah.
gives her a name card with his phone number on it. And it is a very plain and simple name card. It advertises him as a photographer and a photojournalist and nothing more. It doesn't include his any associations of any news agencies because he likes keeping it deliberately vague for situations just like this. He gives her a name card with his phone number and says, just keep if you happen to think of anything else, anything that might have happened on like September 3rd, if you might have noticed, or if you might have noticed anyone strange getting on the train to Council Bluffs, could you ring me up and let me know? I'll make sure it. I'll make sure all your hard work doesn't go unrewarded.
Oh, thank you. And she sort of goes from there. Um, Victor and Tuscan. This is more of, as you all head to the market, this is more your vibe. These are people that it's sort of you have been around. When we do legwork or networking in the game, you choose one of two things. You choose to do it the not so nice way, or you choose to do it the nice way, as you try to find things. So there, you can either roll persuasion, and figure out stuff that way, or you can roll intimidation to figure stuff out that way. Um, Victor, because we have factions in this game, and one of them is and because you have the faction of the night market as your particular as one of your links, I'm going to give you a +1 on this roll, to sort of, depending on what you how you want to do it, either persuasion or intimidation, because I'm assuming your goal is to find Shadow Mally. At least that's the assumption that I'm making. Tuscan, you do not have
Yeah.
a plus because this is not one of yours.
Except that I do have a plus because I am a freaking demon, which gives me an automatic +2 to intimidation.
Oh, you're going the mean way. You're
I
doing it the
am
mean way.
I'm 100% going bad cop here.
Victor, how are you doing it? Are you doing are you persuading or bad cop?
Since I have the persuasion skill, I'll be the good cop.
All right, so that sounds great. Here's the other thing when it comes to being bad cop. Um, if you decide to also literally slap people around, you can get an additional +2 if you're like really doing it. But if you fail it, if you fail the roll, you end up taking damage in the process of doing it.
That's fine with me. I have I have favors of the organized crime syndicate, which I can slap around in people's faces. I'm wearing brass knuckles that I can slap around in people's faces. And I still have 3 bennies, which will definitely help me
Okay.
be the perfect bad cop.
Okay, so you um I think like the picture that I painted before was not sort of sufficient. The night market is about the size of a block underground and 3 stories tall. But 3 stories, sorry, 3 stories deep. That's the term I should mean, right? Imagine this giant mall, but built down as opposed to up. And it again, it caters right. There's fine dining. I think most of the restaurants are on the bottom floor, because if a fire should break out, you don't want to trap people at the top. I mean, there are a number of different ways to get in. But I think so. You have that, and so it actually, and that's where also you have a lot of like street vendors, people cooking like various meats, like into like on like open flames and grills and stuff. It's so it actually it's when you walk in, it's just this like overwhelming potpourri of sounds and smells. You probably have a busker or two playing music. There's like an accordion and a harmonium somewhere. And I think the thing to understand most of all, and there are again like set buildings, right? There is a tailor's. There is a probably a more upscale book that or bookstore that sells like rare um, antiquarian tomes and whatnot. But I think one thing to really understand is that the eclectic level of the fashion that's in the Mysteria. You have creatures who are, for all intents and purposes, immortal, right? Like ageless. Even though vampires are not, are pretty much the creature non grata right now in the Mysteria. You do have very long lived creatures, who uh, and once someone finds their particular style, we don't change that much. That's why in many ways computers are not super big down here, right? You're paying mostly in cash or bartering in precious materials because it's hard, right? You get that crystallized intelligence and your brain doesn't change much. So the styles here run everything from like Victorian to sort of like there's probably some like a pick like a ferry or two floating by on wings that have that are dressed like very reminiscent of the 1940s You've even probably got some goblin somewhere with like a high top fade and parachute pants because the '80s never died for him or them, right? So it's really this like it. When I say it's this mishmash of like design and sound and smells, imagine just like all cultures shoved into one place. Um, and it's crowded, right? And because it's a busy place, this is where main business is done, um, underground. It is the while there is certainly plenty of commerce to be done um, in the city at large. This is the main commerce hub of the Mysteria of Baltimore's Mysteria. So you're going to be bad cop and you're going to be good cop, and
David's gonna be
uh,
confused tourist.
and somewhere in the
David is
middle,
the intern.
yeah, and David is just taken along for the ride. So why don't we give me roles to figure out how we're doing? So you would roll with persuasion at a +1.
So
Victor.
before we do that, though,
Okay.
where are we actually going? Because the night market is humongous. Um, and so I see us entering and then Tuskin slapping David. He's meaning to do a gentle tap. It's not gentle. It's like, well, welcome to our neck of the woods. Victor, where do you think we should go first? Put the camera down, David.
Well, uh, I think for what we're looking for, we need to go to the northeast section. And either ask around it. I don't know. I think it's more your neck of the woods than mine. That part, like the magic stuff. So I don't know.
So, yes, magic stuff. Do you want to go super shady magic, lightly shady magic, or not at all shady magic?
I think glamours are lightly shady.
Fair.
I love lightly shady.
Yeah, then northeast section should be good. Yeah, I know a place. Do you wanna do the team up again where we try to wrangle some information from people where you do all your nice stuff first and then I come in if they do not really want to talk?
That tends to work better than the other way around, I think.
Fair. David?
Hmm?
David.
Yes.
David, pay attention. Don't wander off. You cannot just wander off like that.
Don't worry, I'm right behind you.
Yes, there's a lot of beautiful stuff here.
I know. I noticed. I'm right. I'm
Don't
right behind you.
touch the shinies.
I won't. I'm not a goblin. Or I'm sorry. Is that a? I won't touch it. I won't touch anything. Promise. Promise. Right? Scout's honor.
Yeah, I mean, you like, and as you say that, you see, there's a person selling, baubles and whatnot, and like the prices are things like your favorite memory, or a year's worth of tears, or just the last breath you will take, um, things like that. That's a little bit of the currency here as well. You guys, why don't you all give me some rolls?
So yeah, I have this question.
Mm-hmm.
If a die explodes, how does that work with a +1?
You'd roll it again, and then whatever you get again, whatever your final is, you add your +1 to it.
Yeah, okay. That's what I figured.
Okay.
So that takes me up to an 11.
Oh, nice.
What am I? Am I rolling for this? Am I rolling as well? Or
Nope, you don't know anybody. Like you would be more of a hindrance. You'd be like, hey, you don't have the grounding in it yet. I mean, you're welcome to roll, but you'd be rolling with a -2, -4.
Yeah,
Nobody knows
it's
you
fine.
yet.
Yeah, it's fine.
So I think that we enter the shop, like enter a shop that Tuscan vaguely knows.
Wait, what did you get, Tuscan?
No, nothing yet,
Oh,
because I wanted to describe how I'm going to do this
oh, okay,
before I fail or pass my roll.
okay.
So we walk in, and then Tuscan just stays standing in front of the door after he closed it, and maybe flipped the door to at least temporarily closed. It does say so on the sign. It says between brackets, at least temporarily, and then underneath that, closed.
Hmm. We will return in after we beat everyone up.
Yeah, exactly. So I rolled a 3, but with my +2, that is a 5.
Okay. Well, that's good. Just so you know, Tuscan, oh, did you? So you're not slapping people around? Are you slapping people around, or are you just so you?
No,
It's a
no, not yet. Not yet.
okay. Okay. So just a normal +2. All right. So with an 11 and a 5, so you blew up this search, Victor. The I think you all do this thing where Victor does a lot of talking and very friendly, and the sort of this friendly way. Um, Although it's a little disconcerting because you don't have features; you're just like a glass guy. But at the same, and then like Tuscan just stands there and like cracks knuckles for the majority, just like during the time. But I think you'd spend about, it takes you about a half an hour. You hit up some of the, I think you start with some of the people that you know. David, you start with the like the person who sells some of your more
David.
cost. Oh, sorry, Victor. You start with some of the people who sell you some of your more like caustic, acidic chemicals, and you're like, "Hey, you heard about this guy?" And they, have you heard about someone who's selling glamours under the table? Maybe you mention the actual name. Tuscan, you stand there and you look pretty uh, um, threatening, and you get it only takes you a short amount of time to uh, find out that Shadow Mally is a pixie that operates out of a small stall in the northeast section of the market. Much more, it's not a permanent stall. From what you know about them, they come and from what the person knows, they come and go in general. That they don't have a set place. So, but you do know with an explosion, or with a raise, as it's called, not an explosion. With a raise, you have heard some talk that they may be connected to someone else, with some fingers in some pies. You're not exact, like the person you ask, this very sort of short, corpulent, sort of Bogart-esque creature with a pocket fob and gold buttons and a toupee, which looks super weird on his head. Sort of says that, like, yeah, he heard that he may, like, he's got, they've got some backing. You're not quite sure whom. I will also say that with a raise, and with, because of your success, Tuscan, no one is going to talk. No one's letting like any. Sometimes you like, oh, this person's looking for me and whatnot. That's not getting to them. So when you approach this small. When you approach this sort of smallish stall with the fluttering pixie there, um, uh, they're just doing their business. They're just like calling out to passerbys. I would say in this place, this pixie is probably, maybe half a meter tall, very slight, um, but like big wings, like big ephemeral, translucent wings that are just like beating like a hummingbird's, um, and but like that sort of classical beauty and like sort of Tolkien-esque is sort of offset with the fact that um, they are in like a t-shirt that's been cut to them, but it's got like in that like Frankie Says Relax on it from the 1980s, and a pair of like ripped acid wash jeans, um, and like the t-shirt is like tucked into their acid wash jeans. Um, and so they're just like fluttering there. They've got a pair of like like you have to assume custom, but like custom pump high tops on, um, and they're just like they're yelling to people like as they're going by like you want something, like they're just like, and it's so like I think in this world pixies are very like their natural state is like 4 shots of espresso. So there's a lot of just like, hey, you good? You good? You want something? Something? I got stuff. I got stuff. I got stuff. Like very like lots of arms. Um, so that's what you see when you roll up to this as you approach. I don't know how you want to approach it, but that's what you see. They're on like a corner. They're not in like a full. They're not like a corner of these sort of makeshift. There's probably like marked off areas where people can set up so that there are sort of standard walkways, and they've set up there. Um,
Yeah, so I think that Tusk and I agreed that we will do the talking the same way. Uh,
Yep, I think so too, especially because as soon as Tusk heard that it is a pixie, like, I've dealt with pixies before. They and I, that's just too much energy. Like I will grab them by the wings because that's too much fluttering.
well, you all walk up, David. I think you're. How's David feeling as he has been taken for this mystical ride of shaking hands and talking?
Lost and confused, but
Fair enough.
lost, confused, but also amused and intrigued. He's keeping his mouth shut and just watching Tuskin and Victor do their thing.
Yep, plenty of things to do too. So, yep, you all walk up and to this person's stall. I mean, interestingly enough, you're not quite sure how this person moves everything. There's a lot of stuff, like a lot, and I think there is a overall feeling of it's mostly junk, right? That's what it mostly is. There's and maybe like a banged up tea kettle, like banged up electric tea kettle, probably a box of records, um, a some of that like cheap art that you can buy that like people get from places, just like big ugly framed paintings that are going for like dirt cheap. This person has like dirt market right written all over them. There is nothing here nothing looks particularly magical. I mean, there are things here like everyday objects sometimes carry like various vibes and energy, but this person does not seem to be pitching like everything in front of them is mostly just like swap meet stuff.
I
And he's
feel like the vibe will be a bit like from the Owl House, Ida's shop.
That's a great example. It's a great example. Yeah. Yes, like like paper 3D glasses that are on it, and you right just like and when you roll up, they're just like, hey 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 hey, hey. Look at my wares. You guys interested in stuff? Hmm.
That all looks interesting, but I'm right now more interested in some information.
And it sort of, whoop, that's my chair. He sort of flies back, and then he goes, oh, information. I'm not sure what sort of stuff I can give you, but I'm and you can see that he takes a moment, or they take a moment to like look at their reflection in your face, and just like licks their fingers and like fixes their eyebrows. Um, what sort of information do you want? I don't know. I'm not sure what I can give you. But if you're looking for where I get my stuff, like that's a trade secret. Hmm? Hmm?
Of course it is. But I'm pretty sure that you can provide me with the information. There's a customer of yours that I'm guessing a couple of weeks back he bought a glamour here.
Uh, Give me a roll. This would be persuasion versus this cat's persuasion.
Can I still support? in his-
You can make a support action. Let me open it up.
And do I still have a +1?
Not on this particular one. +1 was just for networking, for finding him.
I figured, but just checking.
Yep. How does one make a okay, so if you're going to try to do a support, what would end up happening is so we're at a social conflict. Like if you made a roll, the number of raises you would get would add to that person's hold on. Let me look up support rolls. Oh shoot.
So one other question in between, because I rolled a 6, then I get to roll that again, right?
If you blow up, yes. Just trying
Well,
to
that
look
was
up.
the maximum on that die, so that is blowing up.
I'm trying to look up the like base supporting.
I rolled another 6.
Wow. Let's see the base support
So
roll.
eventually, I will get raises because I eventually got a 15.
Okay, so that's actually several raises. Well, it depends on what he rolls or what they roll.
I got a 7.
Okay, you got a 7. Okay. Support.
Oh, I forgot to add the +2. So
Okay.
actually, I rolled a 17.
Okay, so all right, let's see what this cat has. What this cat rolls. Okay. Because they have because this is a contested roll, and you rolled a 7, and you rolled a
17.
A 17. All right, so the way the support roll is your successes add to your successes. So you rolled a raise adds +2, but you had so many raises. So with you rolled a 7. You rolled a 17.
Yeah, I rolled a 6, and a 3, and then I get to add 2 for me being very intimidating and grim looking, so that's 17.
And you rolled a 7. Okay. You sit there cracking knuckles and etc. He also blew up and rolled a 19. So you don't beat him even with the support, either one of you. And he says, "Whoa,
How?
I don't know. I rolled really."
Can I do anything to help?
What we can rework this in a second. And he says, and he turns to you and he says, "Listen, listen. I don't." He's like, listen. You're big and you're big, but," and he tugs on his shirt a little, or tugs on his shirt a little bit, and he says, "Coming in this hard is that's not how I would play the game. It's not how I would do it. I think you misplayed your hand. But I don't know what you're talking about when it comes to glamour. now, if you'll excuse me, I'm going to have to leave because I don't think this is really how we're going to do this. Because you know, like you just played your hand a little too hard. But so either I'm going to turn around, and when I turn back, you should be gone because I got nothing to talk to you about.
So, Pixie, how are we going to do this if this is not the way?
Pixie? Pixie. I don't. Do I call you? Do I call you demon? I don't call you demon.
I
Nope,
don't
nope.
know, do you?
Well, I will now. Listen,
Well, welcome to do so.
listen, demon. I don't. You don't know. You don't want to mess with me. I'm not the person you should do this. And in a second, I'm really going to appreciate if you would move along because I think our business is done here.
It's just a question I want to ask. I'm sorry if my partner here is somewhat intimidating. That's not our intention.
Um. Oh, okay. Well, so here's the deal. If we're going to talk, you and I, because you seem to be the mellower of the two, of you. Human, are you buying something? Are you here to buy? You with them? Hmm? Hmm? Pointing at you, David. Or are you just you goggling? Right? This ain't a library. We're purchasing things. Hmm? Hmm?
I don't know how to respond to that.
Great. So I want I want to.
I think Victor will say to Shadow, um, with humans, my experiences always take it a bit slower.
Yeah, they're not as quite as a you and I. We're on the same page. I can feel that. You and me. But um, and yeah, it really goes like pixies, then everybody else, and then humans, and then demons on the bottom. And he turns to you, and he gives you the finger because they're not going to be, you went hard. Like they could see that you were trying to like swell up, and they were not going to accept your swelling. Puff off, puff off. Yes. So, yeah, either I don't know what you're talking about when it comes to things. I don't sell my list, my clients to anybody mostly of the times because that's not how we do things. And so, uh, um,
V, I'm losing my patience.
Yes. Um, so, Tusk, if you go show David your favorite part of the market, then I will try to see if I can finish this conversation before you get back. And um, you, I mean, I don't have any eyelids or whatever, but Tusk will see or at least hear the wink.
I mm, I fine. I'll
There's
give
the
you
very
20 minutes. Come on, David.
there's the very subtle glass crinkling sound as Victor goes.
I think there's like this weird like morphe thing, right? Like I think when you wink, there's actually like an almost prismatic thing, as it's like ooh, like liquidy. Um, as you're leaving, I want you two to give me perception rolls, please. Perception, or that's what it's called. Notice. It's called notice rolls. Give me notice rolls.
Me? Or them?
Yes, the two of you.
Oh,
Nope,
okay.
the two of you who are leaving.
I still don't have notice.
No, you don't.
No, maybe you do
And
have
it's
notice. He's sitting right here.
uh, and it's super busy, so I'm actually going to give you guys a -2. Roll how notice.
It is a shame that I have investigator as an edge.
But that doesn't help in this
Does,
one.
does it not help? Okay, well, I mean,
It does not help.
so that rounds out to I rolled a 6 on my d8, so that goes to a 4 with the -2.
Okay.
So I rolled a 6, and then again a 6, and then 4, which would make it. No, actually, yes. Which would make it. I think my end total was 12 because I get a minus
Yeah. Yep.
2 and a -2, right? So my
Yep.
total is a 12.
So I think
Wow.
I just realized that when I rolled that research check earlier for David, I should have rolled my d8 again because that was an 8 on my d8. So
Oh,
I
okay.
just- I
Well,
just-
let's work
whatever,
that way.
whatever. It's
Back in a
fine.
second.
It's gone. I forgot about the whole dice
But
experiment.
you said you don't have notice, right? At all.
No, but I
Okay, so
rolled a d4 and a d6.
right, and the D6 exploded. But because
Yeah.
you don't have the skill, it's also an additional -2 because
Yeah, but that's what I did because I had
Yeah.
I had a full -4 on that.
Yeah. Yep. So it's a 10.
So, no, no.
Oh, you're right. Nope. 6 and 6 is 12, not 6 and 6 is 10. You're right.
Yes.
So, you guys notice as you are leaving, as you are walking off, that there is a like big, honking, hard, gray-skinned, one-eyed uh, creature, sort of keeping an eye. You know those that keeping an eye on Shadow Malley, not in any threatening way, but in that sort of you know how there's always someone, you know, when you are a person of some import, like keeping an eye for keeping an eye on them, probably in case things go wrong. That's the sort of look, is that like they're protecting them, but from afar. That makes any sense. Like they're keeping an eye on them. So that's just thing, you know. They definitely were not looking. Their eyes follow you as you're leaving, of sorts, because you know once you started flexing awkwardly, they were not going to take that well. So, and now but they keep, you know, like the sort of keep on walking sort of look. Hold on. There you go. I was about to do that. Tuscan does it, Johnny Bravo. Okay. All right. It is. So how are we going to do this?
Break time.
Yeah. Well, yes, we can take a break now, or we can finish the conversation first. Or do you want to do a break and then the conversation?
I think like a break would work. Then we
Okay,
can
we'll
finish
take a
the
5.
conversation
We'll
after.
take a 5. Oh, go ahead.
Say what?
I said good.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so let's take a 5 minutes, and then we'll come back and we'll finish it up.
Okay. And BRB screen is on.
Awesome. so many ants. Ugh. All right. Me too. Me too.
Yes.
Hey, guess what? We're back. We're all back.
We're back.
Guess who's
Yay!
back?
I can straighten up my chair and stop napping.
I love napping, but I'm not gonna nap. After this, I'm writing a retake. I'm writing a test after this because I had a lot of failures. I failed a lot of people. It's not even my test. It's the test that it's like the AP test. I failed a lot of people.
That's not good.
No. A lot of people failed you.
It's true. Oh, I mean, not me personally. Like, I mean, they're always like, Mr. Hatton, how can you give me this grade? And I'm like, I did give you this grade. I have no emotional stake in your grading. I have emotional stake in your happiness and your thought process. But you're gonna be grown-ups. But I have to write a retake because everyone's allowed one retake a quarter. Yeah, retakes. But the thing is, the retakes are always harder because I used all my good questions the first
actual
time around.
test.
For the first test.
Seriously? Okay, so I know we are on a little tangent, but I at one point had to retake a test twice, and I knew
Yikes.
that twice, maybe three times. It was at the last of my retakes that I could take without having to do this course again, and my professor knew. So what he did was he gave us the most easy version of the test that he could possibly make. Just kicked out the entire last chapter of what we had to study because that was the hardest part. And then I believe there was still a person in the room of 7 people that managed to fail.
Oh, that's
Wow.
sad.
Damn.
Sad that 1/7th person. I hope they are living a confident life now. That
They
they've
are a
grown.
little bit too confident in themselves,
Oh, I'm a little.
unfortunately.
Oh, well, then I hope they get humbled. Humbled!
Me too.
All right. Victor, you're staring at a pixie who tugs on their shirt after Tusk and David leave and says, all right, 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 all right. Now that,
All right.
all right, all right, all right, all right. Now that the less, intelligence people are here. Now that the rational ones of us are here, let's What can I do you for? What can I do for you? You say you want to know stuff? I can't tell you, but about a particular client. But because as I said, I don't keep a lot of records of who buys my electric kettles. Huh? Yeah.
And glamours.
Whoo. And that he pauses. That causes a pause. Like there's almost a moment where like all the wings stop, like bam, and he drops for a second, then comes back up. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't do unregistered. He's like, nope. Give me a notice roll real quick. Give me a notice roll. Just
Okay. If this doesn't work, I might try something else. That's a 6. Oh, that explodes. Wait a minute.
oh, well.
So that's a 9.
They're lying. 100% lying to you. 100%. That was not a.
Okay.
Yeah, 100. Just listen. I don't.
Okay, look.
Unregistered.
I've got a couple of extra bennies even this session, and it would
Yeah.
be weird for me not to use them at all.
Okay.
So, one of the things I can use a benny for is to most uniquely to influence the story. And I would, if that's okay with the GM, because it's up to your discretion. At this moment, a client trying to order a glamour, and entering the stall. Would that be okay for you?
That's fantastic.
So I will spend a benny on that.
Okay, great. So just as you say, or just as they say, I don't do unregistered glamours are not okay by the Twilight shift. And just so you know, the Twilight shift are the like cops in the know, right? There's in every cop. That would be fantastic. By the way, Irene, if you want to do that, you can play the customer who is a naga, like a half lady, half snake person.
Sure.
And with like a beanie on, like one of those like knit caps and like a tank top. And
It's one of those knit sweater vests.
yes,
Everything about this lady is knit wear.
Yep, because it's so much more. There's a lot of flow. She's got a lot of wiggle in her snake, so she needs a lot of knit. But yes, he says, listen, unregistered glamours are not my like. I can't do that because that's not okay by the Twilight shift, and the Twilight Guard will come after me. You know what I'm saying? And slithers this naga woman. Knit cap, knit wear, and long snake body afterwards, sort of like a centaur.
Mally, are you telling me you're no longer selling those? I need a refill.
Oh, wait. And he looks at they look at you, and they're like, no, Shirley, no. Well, I mean, I don't, like I.
And Victor's face, the light contorts in such a way that everyone will see he's raising an eyebrow, just one eyebrow about this high.
Yeah, and he says, okay, yeah, that's exactly right. He says, okay, hold on, Shirley.
Yes.
I'm gonna need you to come back for your purchase in a little bit. Okay. And like while I talk to this cat, not a cat. We can't. Over here. Just 5 minutes. And he turned. They turned to you. They said, 5 minutes. 5. Just 5. Yes, we're gonna have 5 minutes.
Yeah, well, as long as I get it by the end of the day, I think that's fine. I wanted to go up and get some of my laundry done, but I guess that can be done tomorrow. 5 minutes is okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah, 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 yeah. 5, 5, 5, 5. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah. No worries.
you do still have to have them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, you really got me worried there for a second. I thought I had to go through the entire underground again, and she starts to ramble, but then there is just something in the look on Shadow Malley's face. It's right, right. 5 minutes. I'll be back in 5 minutes. Bye to
So
you, sir.
uh, and sort of drop. They drop it. The Mally drops into a. Like a camper chair, those like with the nylon seats and stuff. Except it's this big. It's like built for them, and so drops into it. All right, and the wings stop fluttering. Okay, you got me, or more importantly, they got me. Uh, you're right. I deal in these in affordable uh glamours, right? The glamour people in those shops. They're very they're very expensive. Not everyone can afford them. I try to provide a service to people. You know what I'm saying? Like, huh?
That's completely fine by me.
Okay, great. And so you're here to purchase one? I mean, I can. You're a big guy. Yeah, you're big. Yeah, you're big. I can give you a face. I do like anything. You want long hair? I give you long hair. You little something on the top there. Hmm.
No, I just want to know about this client of yours.
Well, I'm gonna say that. I mean that's a particular clients. Like I can't like that list of mine is particularly. I can't just be giving my list to everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like that's bad for business. It's bad for me. It's bad for them. Um,
Well,
uh,
his current situation is also not too good for him. So that's why I'm asking.
okay. Well, why don't you tell me the client, and I will tell you. We'll see. We'll see if it jogs my memory of any sort. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Yes, yeah, yes, I definitely know what you mean.
Um,
Um, but Bucky Snuffles. I think you might have heard of him, even if he wasn't your client.
Pauses for a second. Why don't you give me another persuasion roll? This time with a +4. He's been this. Shadow's been caught. Uh, let's see what Shadow will is willing to part with this time around. Okay. Oh wait, that's the wrong die. Okay. I'm gonna spend a penny to re-roll. Okay, that's better. What did you get on your persuasion?
So with a +4, I. Oh, wait a minute. This explodes. Yeah, I get a 9.
Okay, so you beat them without a raise. They got a 7. Okay. Yeah, I've done work for Snuffles before, right? Like I have. I'm not gonna lie to you. There is because whatever. And I'm not. You know what I'm saying. And you're right. You win. The uh, the person. Uh, Snuffles came to me a few weeks back. They needed something. I had nothing to do, just so you know, with what happened, right? Like I don't know nothing,
I believe you. I believe you. We're
right?
trying to find out what happened. We hope we can make sure his condition improves, but for that we need to find out uh, as who he was posing. I'm assuming this glamour was to alter his own appearance.
Yeah. He wanted
Yeah,
like
yeah, and for that, your business is your business. If I had problems with the business that's being done here, I would not know of this place. So you don't need to apologize for your business. I just want your information.
okay, so um my business. Hey, my business is my business. I can't, I just
Indeed.
I can't be just giving you this sort of stuff for free if you understand what I'm saying. There is things about this, right? You know what I mean? Uh, and but so can we what can we work out here? You know what I mean? Like this is yes.
Well, from what I hear from you, is this isn't the only time you've done good work for Bucky. In which case, if he does not recover, you were to lose a client, which would be bad for business.
So are you gonna give me so are you saying like and he's sort of they sort of cough their hand and they put it out. What? It's true. I would agree. Well, I cannot tell you. Well, I wouldn't be comfortable telling you exactly what Snuffles looked like. I do happen to have a glamour that that I could sell you that may help you in your in endeavors, and he sort of gives you a wink, like a huh, um, just like it's an extra one that I have lying around, huh, uh-huh.
Yeah, just coincidence. I understand.
Yeah. You look like the type of person who wants to go and to a movie, right? Above ground, big IMAX. You know what I mean? You want to see that. You want to see that movie in IMAX, and I may perchance have a glamour that would allow you to go see. I don't know. The next time, Batman, right? Matt Reeves has that movie coming out next year. Uh, or whatever. You want to see it in IMAX. You know what I mean? Huh? Huh?
Hmm. Well, I don't mean to tell you your business is all this. Your sales pitch has too much glamour. Let's just put it at that.
So what you're saying is this is that's what I hear. So what you're saying is you don't want this extra glamour I made uh that you could then right? You're saying you want this or no? Hmm? Hmm?
Um, that sounds all right. Um, if perchance you happen to have a name that would go with it.
That I could not tell you. I don't handle the uh more bureaucratic side of things. Uh, that is a partner that I do have. Um, she is very good at doing that stuff. Um, mm, but I can certainly
Mm-hmm.
give you I can certainly you can certainly walk away with this right now, and see if this would be helpful, right? If you want to go see a movie next week. There's like a lot of blinking. Like this cat is blinking at you like, huh? 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 Huh?
Mhm.
Huh? Huh?
Um,
Picking up what I'm putting down, huh?
yes, I think I will. I could definitely agree with that, but could you also like do you have any form of way to contact this um, person you just happen to know with the bureaucratic side of things?
Oh, sure. And the way mechanically this will work is you will have to spend your favor of the market. It will come back in not next session, but so like you use the favor. You're using the favor to gain access to this person. So you wouldn't get the
Yes.
+1 on your rolls, but
If I'm correct, if I have two favors for the same
Mhm.
place,
Yep. So it
uh,
takes you from +1 2 to
yeah,
plus. Yep. Okay.
okay.
So you spend your favor. Yeah, I can put you in contact with the person that I know. That sounds great to me. Um, because everybody, just in case you get carded, maybe you want to go to one of those movie theaters that serves beer and you need to like get carded. That sounds perfectly acceptable to me. Uh, and we're going to go there. Um, and Shadow Mally slides across a small like like pin, like tie pin almost. Just attach this to some clothes you wear, um, etc. Um, and we'll go from there. And uh, thank you for doing business with me. Do you have contact information so that this person that I know who may be able to help you can reach out to you later on?
Mm. Yeah, if Victor is in doubt because he definitely will not give the address where they reside,
Sure.
uh, because then he would no longer live at that address. People would be mad at me.
Yeah. Does Victor
Um,
have a cell phone?
yeah, I think Victor has some. Hmm. I think Victor has a flip phone. Because I don't think he has tried to create to adjust a smartphone in such a way that it would recognize glass.
Uh huh.
It does not. There's still a work in progress. So for now, he has a flip phone with actual buttons.
Yep.
Um, so he will give his phone number.
Cool. Um, takes it. He says, "They'll be here with you. Like you reach out, you do sort of thing in a minute. That's great. They'll be in contact, or she'll be in contact. You know what I'm saying? Or thank you for doing business. Please never come here again, ever again." And I think as you are leaving, uh, Sally comes. Is that her name? Was that her name? Sally returns. Uh,
Surely.
Shirley returns. Um, uh, Sort of sees you off, maybe. Um, David, you have a connection with the police, right? Isn't that what you have? Isn't that one of your factions?
I think so. I didn't write it down, unfortunately.
I believe you told me it was police and press were your
Yeah, it
things.
should be the police and
Um,
press. Should be.
and you just came down from Philadelphia
Yep.
on your way down, and actually you get they're surprisingly good. cell phone coverage in the midnight in the night market, and you get a little ring, a ding ding, that from your on your phone, and it is a police sergeant um, from from Philadelphia,
Okay,
who's sort of like half in the know, half not in the know.
okay. So David does like the whole boop. Hello.
David, huh, buddy.
Hey, Sarge. How's things?
Yeah, what's his name?
Sergeant Sergeant Charles Sergeant Charles Wachowski.
All right. Oh, Charles Wachowski. Yep, Charles Wachowski. Yeah. Chuck everyone calls him Chuck. Yeah. Everything good? You taking your little trip?
Yeah, man, the road trip has been fine, Chuck.
Yeah. Well, how fine?
It's been pretty fine, you know. Nothing too terribly interesting. Just taking a lot of pictures.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, sure. Sure. Listen. Listen. You helped me out with that thing. Not too long back.
Calling in that favor I owe you, huh?
Sort of helping you out because of other things, you know. Um, we got a call just a minute ago. From Baltimore, from not too long ago. One of us got there was an information request from Baltimore PD saying just checking in on any if you had if we knew anything about you, something about when I didn't take it, but one of the desk guys did, and they were saying that they were asking about you because I just overheard, right? Just luckily, life is lucky. Something about an incident at a hospital. You went up and I don't know. I didn't hear everything, but I just from one favor to from one person to another again for the favor of the thing. There was they're trying. Someone called because there was an incident, and they were just gathering some information, seeing if priors, etc., etc. But I thought I'd
Something at the
give you a heads
hospital,
up.
huh? All right. I might head down there. It might be a good story. Who knows? I'll text you the deets if I get anything.
No, no, no. I don't want any deets. I am not looking for any data, any knowledge here. I was just letting you know that someone has been asking about you because of an incident that you were involved in.
Right. So I don't
I
know.
mean,
I can help you put some of that to rest. I was there just looking around, having a look see. There was some commotion happened somewhere else in the hospital. I think that incident you were talking you overheard about. I was just there. I wasn't actually like there at the incident place, but I heard the sirens and stuff.
hey,
People went
hey,
running.
hey, hey, sure. Yep, nope, makes sense. I don't need to know your business. You don't need to know my business after, especially. And I think like the thing that helped is like you helped him with like a poltergeist or something, like helped like stuff. But he's just giving you like a little heads up that Baltimore PD is has your name, and they wrote up asking for a member asked you or was asking about you
Okay.
uh, because of this. So yeah, just I just wanted to like let you know. You know what I mean? Let you know.
Yeah, man. Thanks, Chuck. It's greatly appreciated, buddy. I'll see if I
Sure.
can sort this stuff out with Baltimore PD. Who knows
Sure.
of the
Sure.
bureaucracy,
Yeah. Yeah. You just maybe they just want to ask you some questions,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
There we go. Um. And I think, and he says, you know what, you have a good one. Continue your, road trip it up. Yeah, and beep,
Heading south.
and
Oh,
then
yep. There you go. Boop.
yep, about your 20 minutes have passed at this point. I think you've done your nice little walk. You've shown each other down. Maybe you got some meat on a skewer. Maybe it's got a tail. Whatever.
It
But the
is
two
it
of
is quote unquote like it's meat between quotation marks.
well, I mean, if anything's in quotation marks, it's like the beef. Beef is in the quotation marks, right?
Fair. It could be anything. It's
It's
fine.
certainly meat. It's certainly meat. But you guys meet up again,
Get it?
and
Meat up. Meat.
yep,
Okay.
meet up. And so the three of you are sort of in this lost in this hustle and bustle of things. And you meet up, as it were.
David,
Tusk,
here.
buddy.
I got you one.
Thanks. What kind of meat is this?
This is meat. We don't question the meat. Victor, over here. Got meat on a stick. Victor.
Yes, thank you.
So what's now?
So,
You
do I still need to flip? Do I still need to flip that card?
Renee?
Renee, are you there?
Oh no! I've got
You want to skip?
a glamour, so I can look like he looked, or one of any one of us, and someone will contact me about a name.
Mm-hmm.
I think David should do it. He's about the right size.
Me?
That's
Yeah, you.
fair.
Also not here.
Yeah. Also, another thing, I just got off the phone with a police buddy of mine from Philadelphia. Turns out Baltimore PD have my name and face, but nothing serious. I think they just want to ask me what the hell happened at the hospital. I think someone must have seen me there, but they probably want to
You
ask
flashed your credentials. Just so you know, you showed them your credentials.
I mean, this is how David's gonna say they. I suppose they want to take me down to the station, ask me a few questions. They might want to. They just want to know what I was doing there. That's about it, really.
Can I get a notice roll from all of you?
I hate you. What is my notice score?
I can always try.
There it is.
Yep.
I have 4 bennies left, so I will spend
Nice.
one.
I've
Well,
got a
you can-
5 on mine.
Okay.
So I got a 4.
I
Okay.
still have 3 bennies left, but also I rolled a 5.
How
Yeah, I'm
with the
just
minus
going-
2?
I'm going to keep it at a 5.
Okay.
At least you guys have bennies. I only got 1.
People are so like you guys are standing at I think a cross section of two roads, and it's like really busy. Like people are sort of crossing around with you, walking around you as you guys are sort of standing and talking. But you guys sort of notice that less and less people are walking around you, and like less and less. And you also notice and that so that the spaces that where you are being blocked off of people.
Uh-oh.
And originally what you notice it is so at first you're not quite sure who or what is blocking you off, as it were, but then as less and less people start, or less and less beings start like blocking you in general, um, it's animals. Animals are starting to choke create choke points, and you've got of various different sizes, various different anthropomorphisms, to suggest a number of different generations here. But there's like a tiger, like a larger tiger, and like a gorilla, sort of blocking you like one space off, and they're wearing suits, both of them. And then in another place, there's like a series of larger lizards, and in fact, I think there's probably one sort of 3 foot tall like iguana person, with a tail coming out back. He obviously has several generations underneath him. And there's another, and so, but over a series of time of just like like maybe a minute, right? There is just a dozen animals and a golem or two, probably, uh,
Oh
um,
joy.
blocking it off, like some other things, and in and then after a minute, uh, there is a pigeon, just like a regular sized pigeon. They have a scarf around their neck, a little like cabbie hat on their head, and a cane. And it starts limping up to you. Obviously, like the not, using its wing as like to hold the crane or the cane. Its other wing is totally mangled. Uh, and he walks up and he says, "You look at the three of you." And say, Mr. Owl would like a to uh, pardon the interruption, but Mr. Owl would like to have a conversation with the three of you. Mr. Owl being the current acting head of the organized crime in Baltimore. I think that's where we're going to stop for today. Mr. Owl wants to have a conversation with you.
Oh no!
So
I wonder
the Owl
who
House
could
again.
it possibly be?
Yes, the Owl House again.
DJ, boo.
Who?
What did you say?
I don't know. I don't know who this Mr. Owl could possibly be.
No, boo.
Come on, Ben. Come on, Ben. You introduced an owl character. I'm going to make owl puns. It's like if you introduce a bear character, I'm going to make bear puns. Owl puns
Bear
and bear
puns.
owl puns and bear
That
puns
would
are
be
exchangeable.
unbearable.
All right. Thanks for everyone for joining in. Why don't we take a minute to say where we can find each other? Why don't take a minute to self-promote?
I am on DJ Tomica Plays on Twitch, DJ Tomica Plays on Twitter as well. And also, I run the Applied Materials podcast at Applied Mats on Twitter, and also Applied Materials on the Spotify.
Thank you, DJ. Eurene.
At Jorien Hattink, JORIENHATTINK on Twitter. I am Sashi Kush on the Applied Materials podcast. And then I'm also part of the Bold Crew RPG podcast, where I play a variety of characters. That's the best places where you can find me.
Bold Crew.
Yes.
All right. And Renee.
Hi, you can find me on Twitter at Quarian_NL. I'm also on the Applied Materials podcast. I play the telekinetic Maravanalor, with more, and that's about it.
And I am Ben, and you can find me I just reopened Twitter for this. So if you want to reach out, it's at Liber Novus Game, right? Isn't that right? Liber Novus Game.
Nope, at Game Novus.
Oh, at Game Novus. At Game Novus. Right. This is Liber Novus Game at Game Novus. The information is there in on Twitch. Thank you so much for joining. If you ever want to send an email, that is Liber Novus Game at gmail.com. Um, uh, that's what we've got right now. There will be more coming in the future. Thank you for spending your Sunday mornings with us. Everyone, have a nice day.